Wow, that was a lot more exciting than I thought the game was going to be. We start the game off really well. The first, 20 or so minutes was really back and forth, a lot of open play, and we looked like the better of the team for the first 20. Even though Dane came up huge with um, two huge saves in the first 20 minutes, one on, I believe, Chicho Hernandez, and then the other on, Christian Ramirez, who did end up scoring. Of course, you knew it was going to happen. Playing against Superman again, you just knew he was bound to get a goal if he was going to play the full 90, and he did. But it wasn't until later on. But actually, a great first goal from the combination of Ray, Pookie, and Bongi, with a great finish from Bongi. Great pass from Pookie, perfectly timed, and it was a great start to the game. And then the rest of the second half was pretty bad. We absorbed a lot of pressure, and we really didn't go forward quite a bit. I thought we didn't create a lot of opportunities, and the Crew were all over us, especially in the last half of the first half. They were absolutely on top of us, Dane, having to come up with some big saves. And there was a couple times where we looked like a bunch of chickens with our heads cut off running around within the box. And that's obviously not what you like to see um, at all. But yeah. Um, then because you really saw it coming. After that, they were creating chance after chance. And Dotson had an absolute awful giveaway that the Crew capitalized on, and they scored a goal to Malte Amundsen. Sorry if I pronounced his name wrong. With the assist from Chicho Hernandez, but that first goal to let him back into the game was really blew the wind out of our sails. But it woke us up a little bit because we were not playing great after we had scored, and we got into halftime surprisingly at 1-1. Even after they scored that late goal in the 42nd minute, there was a bit of time added on in the first half, and they created a couple more opportunities. So we were really thankful to get in at halftime at 1-1. And the start of the second half was a bit like the end of the first. The Crew were kind of all over us, and ended up scoring a really good goal from outside the box. Dane really has nothing he could do about it. The only thing is a defender maybe needs to close in on him to stop the opportunity. But it was a great finish from Alexandru Matain. But yeah, it was very deflating to go down 2-1. But we responded quite quickly after that with a goal from Bangahugle Owange with assist from Joseph Rosales, who, Bangi put his body on the line there, just threw his body into a cross, got his back to it, and ended up finding his way in the back of the net. It was kind of a lucky goal. Besides the fact that Bongi put himself in the right spot, got a piece of body to it that wasn't his arm. Lucky it was just his back, and finished it quite nicely. Even though it was, a bit lucky, like I said. But I really like the switch when Joseph went more up into the left wing midfield area. I really don't like when Joseph plays left back. I thought they were trying to expose Valentin and him all night, and our back line was just not really great, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree, Dave. Our defense was abysmal tonight. Yeah, the defense was abysmal. I thought one of our worst games defensively, and it was really bad timing, I think, to get rid of Kamar Lawrence and have. I'm not saying that Kamar would have changed any outcome with the 3 goals tonight. I'm just saying I think it was a bad timing. I know we brought Ethan Brislow in, but the defensive backline has been a bit shaky recently. And going into the game, going against Columbus Crew, who let's be honest, has been on fire recently, especially their attack. Honestly, all year their attack has been quite good, and especially right now. I mean, for past Club America, it's quite a good game, and to go into that game with, I mean, we had to chop Boxy back in, Tapias, even though they had been playing a lot together. Um, but then you switch Valentin to right back, and we play Joseph Rosales at left back, who's not a natural left back. You could have went into the game thinking we're going to give up a couple goals. A lot of people did think that, and I agree. Our defense, we need to fix something. And I'm really hoping Ethan Brislow, who came on in the second half, will kind of help maybe make that defense a little bit more stable with a little bit constant left back presence of him if he can break into the team. And then maybe when DJ comes back, keep DJ at right back. Or switch Valentin and DJ at right back, or I think Valentin is an all right defender backup, and he can play left and right back. But when we have to go into games as I'm starting, I don't like him going forward. I think he's good defensively, but going forward he's limited. So I really hope Breslow, who looked good tonight in my opinion, I thought there was some good things to see. I mean, as his debut, there wasn't anything crazy, but I'm hoping he can maybe break into the team a bit like that, and kind of maybe not that that'll sure up our center back pairing. I think Boxy needs to just calm everything down. There was a couple times when him and Tapias kind of just were pointing at each other. Someone's got to just always step up and make a play when it's starting to get a bit dicey, but. Like you said, our defense was pretty bad. But when we make that sub, Brislow coming on for Franco, making that switch, I really did like that, even though it was after we scored the Bongi goal. I think we just realized that Joseph was putting in a lot of dangerous crosses, and we could maybe exploit some of that. Pookie came off for San Bing in the 71st, and Pookie had an all right night. I mean, he gets an assist. I think he's a bit frustrated with maybe his shots getting blocked or whatnot, or amount of chances he might be getting himself, but he's creating for others, which is good. But then in the 83rd minute, like I said earlier, the Christian Ramirez was going to score. Superman was going to get on the score sheet, and if you walked into a casino before the game, it would have been a lock for you to get paid out if you put that on. I don't know what the odds are or anything for that, but we all knew going into the game that he was probably going to score against us, knowing our club. That it happens all the time where we have an ex-player come in or ex-player show up for a game with a team, and they always end up hitting the back of the net, especially with a poacher like Ramirez, like we saw. And I'm not the one to be overly atop of, we should have kept him years ago, but we probably should have. I think he can add a lot to a team, and I don't think we really got too much out of him. Tyler Miller was a stopgap for a year or so, but yeah, enough about that. We'll just, get depressed thinking what we had, but not that he's like a lights out, best number 9 in the world, just I think he's a good striker for MLS quality. But Mender come on for Will Trapp at the end. We were trying to chase a goal. Mender has not been impressing me lately. I mean, he runs around like a headless chicken sometimes. Really puts his all in, but that penalty in the penalties was absolutely awful from Mender. He's really got to find some confidence, but we score really late on the 90th minute from a good goal from Asani Dotson, who it was Emmanuel Reynoso who dribbled past 2-3 defenders and then ended up laying it off to Asani, who just lashed it in through on net, and it gets deflected in, thankfully, to push penalties. And it was good for that to happen. Hassani made right from that early goal that he gave up in the second half. That was very bad. But we go into penalties, and Chicho Hernandez scored the first one. Emmanuel Reynoso stepped up and had his first one saved, but the goalie came off the line. Manuel Reynoso steps up again, puts it in the top right corner, the same corner he picked. Ramirez steps up for Crew, makes his. Rosales makes ours. They have a goal. The players step up and get a goal for them. Boxy steps up, scores ours for the third, and it's 3-3 with Kevin Molino stepping up. And I was just trying to kind of set the tone because it was really back and forth for the first 3 penalties. And then Kevin Molino, ex-Loon, steps up. And while he was walking up, Boxel said something to him. We don't know exactly what he said. Maybe that'll become available later on, but says something. And you know, the fans were already chanting F the ref because of the call earlier, making Emmanuel Reynoso retake his penalty after he missed. And it went from that to F Dane St. Clair, or F St. Clair, after Molino comes up to get the ball and Dane kind of gives him a hug, try to, ex-teammate, trying to get in his head or something, what you will. And it ended up working. Dane perfectly saves the penalty. It was not the best penalty from Molino. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, we might actually be on the other side of a penalty shootout for once, because we've been on the wrong side, like in Dallas last year. And Mender steps up, and like I said, it was just an awful, awful penalty. Him and Bongi after that were awful, awful penalties. Could have easily just looked where the goalie was committing and slotted it in the other way while they were shooting. Both did not hit either the post over in the middle. It was just the worst penalty you could have taken from both players. After Dane made 2 huge saves to even allow the Bongi and Mender to have the opportunity to clinch the game or put us in the lead, not clinch it. But it was probably pretty disheartening from Dane to watch that happen. But he steps up for the 3rd time after the crowd's yelling "F-U, St. Clair" or whatever. We heard it on the TV through Apple TV, but Dane makes another huge save to make it 3 for 3 in a row. And Tapia steps up and does what the previous 2 couldn't, and calmly lets the goalie make a mistake and slots it in the opposite direction that the goalie was going. And it was awesome because we'd been on the opposite side of that, like I said, and just being able to advance to the round of 16, it's going to be awesome. Nice for us to continue to watch games. We'll get a home game most likely. I haven't seen the last score, but Toluca was winning like 3-0 against Sporting Kansas City. So we should have another home game against Toluca, it seems like, a Mexican Liga MX team. So that'll be just, a fun to play some other competition that's not the same Western Conference teams. Another stop on potentially a cup run. So yeah, I mean, we're in the knockout stages as it is, so that's always good. But move on to the round of 16, awesome. Yeah, don't think I have anything else. I mean, Bongi is playing good. I'm gonna go into player ratings and kind of wrap it up. We'll start in the back. I think Dane St. Clair is going to be my man of the match. Gives up 3 goals, but the penalty performance, he also made a handful of huge saves in the first 90 minutes. Maybe on FootMob and all these other websites, he might not be getting the highest score of the game or whatnot. But for me, Dane's going to be my man of the match today. I'm going to give him 8 out of 10, or a 9 out of 10. I'm going to give him 9 out of 10 because, yeah, it's going to be weird. I think I'm going to give Bongi. Yeah. We're going to do. I know exactly what I'm going to do. We're going to, Dane a 9. Even though he does give up 3 goals, 2 of them really weren't for him to blame. I mean, the one at the near post, you'd hope he'd do a little better. Valentin at right back, I'm going to give a 2. I thought he was being exposed all night. Not very good performance. Boxall picked up a yellow. I'm going to give Boxy a 3. I thought the back line was abysmal. Tapias, I'm going to give a 3, maybe 3.5 for the penalty. Very calm penalty at the end. Could potentially give him a 4, maybe, or somewhere around there. I thought he was the best out of the bunch, probably, of the back line. Rosales, I am going to give a 4. I think if he did play left back the whole game, it would have been a lot worse. But after that formation change, he picks up an assist. Actually, I'm going to give him a 5 because he does pick up an assist. And when he moved up to left mid, I thought he played a lot better playing his natural position. It's hard to be playing out of position as it is, so there's a lot to ask. But yeah, going to be a little harsh, but also give him a break for playing well in the second half after the formation change. Will Trapp, I'm going to give a 5 out of 10. There was some rumors that there's some teams interested out of Will, but yeah, he does clog up the midfield by stopping some things. But I just think, like I've said many times before, I think there's better options, if not just as good options around the league, that maybe have just better attributes in other areas too. There's just, I don't know. You see some good things and then you see a lot of bad things. So it's like, yeah. Dotson, 6 out of 10. Scores a goal, but definitely need to talk about how he was to blame for one of the goals. Needs to be a little bit more careful with the ball. He gives the ball a lot away. So yeah, Franco was really bad tonight. I'm gonna give him a 3. Yeah, not the best performance from Franco. I thought there was plenty of opportunities Franco would make an impact on the game, but he was very bad with his passing and or misplaceful with it, making the wrong decisions. Manuel Reynoso, an 8 out of 10. Ray was great. Had an assist. Yeah, Ray was great. Maestro in the midfield. Going to give him an 8 out of 10. Maybe I'm being a little harsh. But, yeah, 8 for me. Bongi, 9 or, 9, 8.5 for me. Simply, he would have got a higher score if that penalty was not so bad. The penalty was really, really awful when that's an opportunity where Bongi should be stepping up and sliding that away with ease. But it was very, very poor penalty take from him. So that's why I'm going to give him that. And he's not going to get my man of the match because of that sole reason. And plus, Dane stepped up huge. So that's why Dane got it. Bongi, close second. Really, really great form from Bongi. Leading goal scorer in the Leagues Cup right now. And it's not Lionel Messi, surprisingly. But Timo Pukki, I thought he was solid. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Not his best game, but not his worst. Picked up an assist. Created a lot of opportunities for others. Just the shots are getting blocked and stuff in it. And there's certain things where he needs to work on, but it wasn't as good tonight. It didn't come off tonight, but yeah. So 7 for me. And then Ethan Brislow. What? I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. I thought he was pretty good. Mender, I'm going to give a 5 out of 10. Awful penalty. But besides that, when he did come on, it was just running around for a bit. But yeah, bad penalty from Mender. Sanbin should have drawn a penalty late on. I think we got screwed in VAR. I don't know how I almost forgot about it because of the excitement of the game. But Sanbin definitely got fouled. He gets dragged or pulled back by the shoulder. Maybe he makes the most out of it, but 100% should have been a penalty. There's contact by his shoulder. He's dragged down. VAR, I don't even know if it looks at it. I think if the goalie, or I think just because he doesn't give it, they don't want to make the decision for the ref. But VAR is useless if it doesn't overturn that and give us a penalty there, because it was clear as day foul. But Sanbing, 6 out of 10 for me. Yeah, came on in the 71st minute, did a little bit. Actually should have drawn the penalty, like I said, but yeah, we advanced. And like I said, we should be playing Toluca at home, but we'll see if anything crazy happens. You never know when the league's cut. But as always, a little bit longer one, but as always, come on, you loons, and thanks for tuning in.